Her crazy in-laws won't let her wear a white wedding dress at her own wedding.
What? That's like the time when you're allowed to wear the white dress.
No. Didn't you just hear her in-laws, dude? It's not allowed.
Pow.
I work at a hotel near a popular wedding venue that can have 3 weddings in one day at the same time, as there are multiple places to hold 100 to 200 people on the property. By the way, this comes from user Little Bum B, and you can submit your stories on the r/OK storytime subreddit. So, well, during wedding season, I came across someone in a wedding crying in our back stairway. I asked if there was anything I could do to help her. She asked if I had time to hear her story because she needed someone to talk to who wasn't at the wedding. As she said, the sister of the groom won't let her wear the white dress she wanted to. She went on about how she had paid for the venue and the groom's choice of catering instead of what the bride wanted. She also paid for all the hotel rooms with people paying her back for it, but the groom and groom's family hasn't paid her yet, and she got them all suites, which were $300 a night during our busy season, and they were there for 5 days and 4 nights. She also paid for most of the decor and the wedding party's outfits. The groom's entire family is against her wearing the white dress she wanted to wear. At this moment, I was thinking about how even if someone paid for my entire wedding, I wouldn't allow them to wear white on my wedding day. And she said exactly that. She was like, I know what you're thinking. It doesn't matter how much I've paid for. I shouldn't wear white to someone else's wedding. But then she hit me with, I'm the effing bride.
Ooh, she really waited until it was like pack to punch.
Pack to punch. Punch to pack.
I'm the bride. Ba, ba, ba. And she did it just like that.
She
flipped.
She had it on her phone ready to play.
Ba, ba, ba. And then she did a flip off the stairs.
I was floored. Who doesn't let the bride wear white to their own wedding? So she continued on with the story while I was in shock. The groom's sister was there for every dress appointment along with the groom's mom, who's now just going to be sister-in-law and mother-in-law. Well, both mother and sister-in-law kept making comments that sister-in-law would look better in the dresses than the bride would. At the last appointment she had for trying dresses, she was finally able to bring her mom and the groom, hoping that would stop sister-in-law and mother-in-law from making those comments. Big surprise, it didn't. They just stopped saying them out loud and instead sent messages in the family group chat that they didn't realize the groom was in. The groom didn't see the messages as he shut off the phone to focus on the bride. They discovered the messages later that night. A couple days after that last appointment, she was added to the family group chat and bombarded with colorful dress choices and told she had to wear a colorful dress because sister-in-law found a dress she wanted to wear and it was white, so the bride wouldn't wear white?
That's insane. That's insane. All of the people who were like, oh, like in the chat were saying, oh, maybe like she's not a virgin and so that's why they won't let her wear white. But no, that's already crazy. But like whole new level of crazy to be like, yeah, she wants to wear white, so you can't wear white on your wedding day.
The most unhinged thing I've ever heard in a wedding story. Demanding that the sister-in-law gets to wear a white dress
at her
instead
wedding.
of the bride.
Crazy. Why don't you have a freaking wedding? Oh, wait. No one will marry you because you're terrible.
You stink. Another bit of backstory she told me was that sister and mother-in-law both have bipolar and are kind of babied and spoiled by the family because of that. So no one else in the family besides the groom stood up for her wearing white to the wedding, and they all messaged her privately to just wear a colorful dress and let sister-in-law wear the white dress. Crazy.
At least the groom stood up.
Insane.
At least the groom stood up, because sometimes we're in these situations.
The one person who does should.
And the groom is like, well, that's what they want. But at least he's like, no, that's crazy.
She bought a white wedding dress, and when sister-in-law found out, she came to their apartment to find the dress and destroy it? They have Ring camera footage of sister-in-law screaming and banging on their door, demanding the dress because the bride wouldn't wear a white dress. She was wearing the white dress. This is just unhinged. Well, sister-in-law and mother-in-law never got to the dress, but they tried canceling the bride's alterations. But the bride had seen a couple TikToks on keeping meddling family away from things. So she set up passwords for all the stuff she had for the wedding so they wouldn't change anything. Well, sister-in-law still bought the white dress and has been showing everyone pictures of it, going on about how she'll be so beautiful in it at the wedding. Then, and the bride doesn't know how they got pictures of it, they posted sister-in-law's dress and the bride's dress on Facebook and asked everyone to vote on which one was better.
Oh my God.
These people,
they can't stop. Elope.
Yeah,
Elope.
have your own little wedding without
Away,
them.
far, far away from these people.
Yes, 100%.
Insane people. I'm sorry. Your husband might be standing up for you, but he needs to uninvite them at this point.
Yeah,
because this is despicable behavior.
He needs to be really upset. Okay, so they deleted the which one is better post when multiple people voted for the bride's dress instead of sister-in-law's.
Yes.
Haha. The bride's whole family is behind her in this fight, but she has a small family compared to the groom's side, and they have been the louder side in this fight. Then the next part was given to them by the groom's brother. The mother-in-law and sister-in-law found out what the groom's tux will look like and bought sister-in-law's boyfriend the exact same tuxedo, custom-ordered fabric and color and cufflinks that the bride bought. The bride got custom-engraved 24-karat gold cufflinks of the groom's favorite band. Brother-in-law is a part of a new family group chat that excludes the bride and groom and was sending all the updates from that chat to the couple. Well, the bride was able to get to sister-in-law's white dress and ruined it with a black fabric paint marker just before they left to come here.
Oh
No,
God.
this is good.
Okay, I flipped them in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Nice!
Sister-in-law found it a couple hours ago and has been ranting that it was obviously the bride and how the bride is ruining her special day.
Really, it's not your special
You
day.
stupid
Ditto.
Ooh, I'm getting upset. Sister-in-law had to get a new dress from a local thrift store that had no wedding dress code, appropriate dresses in white. Brother-in-law sent them a screenshot from the chat and made the bride start crying and started the whole fight that led her to crying in our back stairs. So now we know how it's...
So is this at the wedding?
How
Is
it
this
got there.
Day of the wedding?
This is... The wedding is happening now.
Oh, and so she's
That's
crying
what's
in the
happening.
She's
She's
crying
crying
in the stairs on her wedding day?
Yep.
I'm about to... Ow!
So sister-in-law and mother-in-law have been planning for sister-in-law's boyfriend's family to come up the day of the wedding, and before the bride and groom get married, sister-in-law and her boyfriend will have a promise ceremony where in front of their family and friends they will promise to love each other forever and get married one day in the future.
Who?
Sister-in-law
The
and her
sister-in-law
boyfriend.
and her freaking boyfriend are about to have a promise ceremony at this poor woman's wedding?
That does seem to be exactly what's going to happen. Well, technically, it's not at the wedding. It's the day before. With these and other screenshots, the groom calls both their families into their suite and starts in on his mother and sister about how this is supposed to be his and his wife's day and not his sister's. His mother and sister started crying about how his sister isn't ready for marriage, but because they're so poor, when she is ready, she won't be able to have the amazing wedding that he is, and she just wants to borrow their wedding so she can have an amazing one too, and none of this would be happening if he wasn't marrying such a stuck-up butthole. Well, that's just about one of the most entitled things I've ever read in my life. This set the bride off, and she ran out crying while her family put them in their place. And now she's talking to me about it while she waits for everyone to calm down. A few other things she mentioned that I feel with how I'm not good at relaying back info would have made the story non-cohesive. The groom is in grad school and took out loans to go, so he really has no money. That's why the bride paid for everything. The bride has a really well-paying job, and her family has a lot of savings, even though they are in the same economic class as the groom's family. So they helped pay for the wedding. She chose the groom's choice for catering because it's the only thing about the wedding he really, really cared about. He told her multiple times he'd rather just go to the courthouse, sign the paper, and just go get dinner at their place.
Yeah, because
or
he
at
knows
the place that's catering after.
he knows what his family's like.
He's
He's
like,
I don't want
trust
to deal
me.
with this.
I know that this is not going to be fun.
No.
The bride's mom works a lot and couldn't make it to any dress appointments because the last one and the groom, besides the last one, and the groom couldn't because of school. She's always had problems with his sister-in-law and mother-in-law, but thought they could put them aside for the wedding. Oh, what a crazy thought. She's in the stairs by herself because she always does better calming down when she's by herself. And by the way, you know what you can always do better by yourself is listen to full episodes with stories like these. All you have to do is go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, and search OK Storytime, and there you will find all the episodes that your heart could ever desire. And you can listen to them all alone, or you can tell your friends, tell your family, and they can listen to them as well. Would you have done anything differently? I mean, like,
If I were the
I would have
woman,
been like, hard cut off.
I would have cut off all
I'd
these
have been
people.
like,
I'd have
"You're
said,
not coming."
You're not coming to the wedding. This is my wedding. How dare you ask to borrow my wedding and try to wear white on my wedding? And I never want to see you guys again. Bye.
Any human being who is in support of me not wearing a white dress, you're gone. You're done.
Bye.
Goodbye. I was told by the front desk staff that they refunded the bride for mother and sister-in-law's rooms, then went to them for payment of the rooms. They left with father-in-law the next day and skipped the wedding.
Yay!
Yay!
That's what we like to hear.
Fun note, the bride invited me to the wedding, but I had to work that day, so I couldn't go. But we
Lame.
are friends on Facebook, so I get to see her mother-in-law and sister-in-law rants on Facebook about how now that sister-in-law is getting married, she's not going to be able to have the wedding she wants.
Boo-hoo.
Let me know in the comments if this was too confusing. I'll try to get a hold of the bride, but I don't think she'll answer me as we haven't talked since her invite to the wedding. And that is the end. I appreciate the dedication, OP.
Yeah, OP's like, I will find
Like,
out.
I will find. You did a good job, OP. I feel like
Yeah,
that
it
was
a good
pretty.
day. Yeah.
It was pretty clear. Yeah. Don't be afraid to not let problematic people go to your wedding, even if they're directly related to you.
Literally.
I think that's
don't let them
takeaway
go to
from
the
that.
wedding if you don't want them at the wedding.